Hello everyone, myself Bhuvanashri VS. I am currently pursuing my civil engineering in SVC Bengaluru. Today we will be discussing about build, own, operate, transfer. Introduction to build, own, operate, transfer BOOT. Build, own, operate, transfer BOOT is a financing model where a private entity constructs, operates, and maintains a facility for a specified period before transferring ownership to the government or any other entity. BOOT projects are common in infrastructure development such as building roads, bridges, power plants, and water treatment facilities. The BOOT model allows government to leverage private sector expertise and funding for infrastructure projects. Key components of BOOT projects. The entity, private sector, undertakes the construction of the infrastructure project based on the contract with the government or a client. The entity operates and maintains the facility for the predetermined period where ensuring quality and efficiency. Ownership of the facility transfers to the government or designated entity at the end of the concession period. Advantages of BOOT model. Risk transfer. The private entity assumes construction and operational risk, thereby reducing the burden on government. Efficient project delivery. Private sector expertise often leads to faster project completion and cost-effective operations. Funding flexibility. BOOT allows government to access private sector funding without upfront capital investment. Disadvantages of BOOT model. Cost implications. BOOT projects may have higher cost due to private sector involvement and profit margins. Limited control. Government may have limited control over the project during the concession period. Potential for disputes. Disputes between the government and private entity can arise, leading to delays and additional costs. Examples of BOOT projects. Toll roads. Private companies may build, operate and maintain toll roads under a BOOT arrangement. Power plants. Independent power producers may construct and operate power plants before transferring ownership to the government. Water treatment plants. Private companies may build and operate water treatment facilities under a BOOT model. Key considerations for implementing BOOT projects. Clear project objectives and scope are essential for successful BOOT implementation. Robust contractual agreements outlining roles, responsibilities, and risk allocations are critical. Stakeholder engagement and transparency are key to the building public trust and support for BOOT projects. Challenges in BOOT project implementation. Political and regulatory uncertainties can impact the viability of BOOT projects. Financing constraints may limit private sector participation in infrastructure development. Ensuring compliance with environmental and social standards is crucial for sustainable project outcomes. Best practices for BOOT projects. Conducting through feasibility studies to assess project viability and risk. Establishing effective governance structures to oversee project implementation and performance. Monitoring and evaluating project outcomes to ensure compliance with contractual obligations and stakeholder expectations. Future trends in BOOT financing. Increasing interest in public-private partnerships for infrastructure development. Emphasizes on sustainable and resilient infrastructure projects. integration of technology and innovation in BOOT project delivery. Conclusion: Build, Own, Operate, Transfer is a valuable financing model for infrastructure development. The BOOT model leverages private sector expertise and funding to deliver critical projects. Effective planning, governance, and stakeholder engagement are essential for successful BOOT implementation.